Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today I'd like to return back to the US and take a look at one of their M.C.Ws or meal cold weathers. This particular one is the scrambled eggs with bacon. So let's get this on a table and see what this pack contains. And as you can see, I now have here on the table this US meal cold weather or M.C.W, and as you can see they're very similar to the regular US pouches, but obviously white instead of brown. These are designed for the cold weather environment, so they're usually freeze dried. Peelable seal. I've had a look at the date stamp on this one and we can just about make it out. It does say 9214, I don't know if you can see that. I'm assuming this is a 2009 as opposed to a 2019, because generally here in the UK these are very difficult to get hold of. They don't normally arrive until they're about 10 years old, and if it was ultra modern as in a 2019 or one of the newer ones, I would have thought it would have been a lot more expensive. So I'm going on it being a 2009, making it about 13 years old. We'll have a look at this easy peelable seal, or supposedly easy peelable seal. It's got a firm grip, and there we go, it did go. These white bags do seem to be a bit firmer to tear than the brown. So what does this US Menu 11 scrambled eggs with bacon M.C.W actually contain? Well, straight off the bat, first off we have a nut raisin mix. There is also an instant oatmeal, maple and brown sugar. So this is obviously a breakfast menu, eggs, bacon and oatmeal. We do have some fig bars. There is an M.C.W, clearly states M.C.W, accessory pack containing sugar, Bill's Brew coffee, some little bits of Tabasco, the usual matches and other sundry items. Here's the world famous spoon, US MRE spoon. We also have a milk chocolate cocoa beverage powder, so drinking chocolate. See if we can get all those on. Let's bring it to the end, make sure I can keep them in shot. We also have a beverage powder tropical punch, and last but not least we have the Mountain House scrambled eggs with bacon, freeze dried and pre-cooked. So very nice set of contents for this US Menu 11 scrambled eggs with bacon. So let's get these out on a tray and see what they look and taste like. And so, as you can see, I now have everything laid out on the tray, and because this is a freeze-dried menu and it needs a little bit of time for reconstitution, I'm going to start with the mains first instead of where I normally do the drinks. So I'm going to start off with the freeze-dried scrambled eggs with bacon. Now this is Mountain House, as the make there. It does call for 8 fluid ounces or about 200 millilitres of hot water. So I was bringing my friend there to open this pack up. Don't seem to have taken it all the way across. Very, very tough packaging. So let's just get that open, broken up. So you can see there are large chunks of egg. Let me just break this up. Make sure sure everything is moving. There we go. I can't see a packet in there, a pouch oxygen remover, and I do have here 8 ounces pre-measured, although I'm not going to pour in all of this at this point. I shall put in most of the 8 ounces and leave a little bit back. You can always add, you cannot take away, and there's absolutely nothing worse than soggy egg, scrambled egg. So just give that a good old mix up. There's a nice bacon smell coming from there, smoked bacon. Good mix down to the bottom, and we'll just seal that up, leave it to do its thing. So while that is having a bit of a warm and rehydration, we'll have a look at the next things that need a bit of preparation, and that is the instant oatmeal maple and brown sugar. Again, this ad calls for 8 ounces of water, hot or cold. So, nice large breakfast. These M.C.Ws do seem to have a few more calorific value items. Obviously cold weather requires a bit more energy to keep warm, so I have a bowl here. I should just pour those just simple looking oatmeal, and using another USMLV spoon, which I always have plenty of, I shall just add some more hot water. As a rough estimate, about 8 ounces. There is so much food here, I can barely get it all on the tray, so we'll just give that a, I can feel the brown sugar in there. It is quite coarse, there's quite a lot of sugar in there, so we'll just give that a couple of minutes. I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open the accessory pack, take a close look at that. There's quite a lot of drinks in this menu. So we have the standard TP, there is a Bill's Brew freeze-dried coffee, there is a whitener, a little moist towelette, there is a sugar, the customary book matches which are white tipped, just move those out of the way, some of the regular spearmint gum or the mint gum, and a little bit of Tabasco, which I don't think I'll need in this instance, but it's the old style little Tabasco sauces there. Let's move to one side. So coming back to the preparations, I think I'm going to keep going now back to where I like. We'll have a look at the Bill's Brew coffee. So, that's the first time I've actually had a Bill's Brew coffee from the US. I've had them in previous rations, but they've always been compromised. They've always got a bit of that damp mould on them. This is the first healthy looking Bill's Brew coffee, so it'll be interesting to try. I'm going to add them how I like them, with the sugar and the creamer straight off. So get them all in there. Make this one straight as I like. And just bring this up to about half a mug. Give it its best chance. So about half a mug. And then we're going to keep going with the drinks. We now have a milked chocolate cocoa beverage powder filled to the line. So I am going to mix it in the mug this time. But obviously it tells you to fill to the line if you're out in the field. And shake. just so we can see better. I'm going to pour it straight into a mug. So there is simple drinking chocolate mix. Obviously you could add the coffee and make a mocha, but because it's the first time I've had these again, well, the Bill's Brew, I wanted to try that on its own. So I'll just give this, again, about half a mug of water. Good old mix. Nearly spilt it there. Lots of preparation in this one. There is a tropical punch powder beverage base. So these ones I've had difficulty with in the past. They can be quite tricky to mix, so I'm going to mix this in the pouch and see if that does actually make any difference. So I've had these before, and a very strange experience with the tropical powders. They seem to go all floaty, so this time I'm going to try mixing it in this pouch and see if it does actually make any difference at all. So get a good seal. Hopefully doing it this way, shaking rather than stirring, like the old James Bond, shaken not stirred. It mixes better. We shall see. And we'll just see if that has actually come out any better. Again, it still looks a little bit clumpy. I don't know what it is about this tropical punch, but it doesn't mix well. I've had quite a few now, and they always seem to have floaties on there, but that has mixed a little bit better than when you do it with a spoon. I'm just going to come back to the main meal, just give that a check. Another little stir. And I think we can add a little bit more of that hot water. It has gone a little bit dry. Like I say, there is a bit of preparation with the freeze dried, unlike the wet pouch meals, but usually they are better quality. Let's hope this one doesn't let me down. Moving along, we have the nut raisin mix with pan coated chocolate discs. So again, a very nice large bag, which will just pour out a few. So nuts and raisins, and a few of this. That is only, it's about a third of the bag, about a third of the bag, plenty left. Still going. We also have some fig bars, so plenty of food in this one. And it is the fig Newtons I've heard about. Literally, last time I had these, they weren't in their original wrappers, but they are fig Newtons, which I have heard of in the US. So, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to start now with the drinks. I'm going to straight off with the Bill's Brew coffee. It's a medium roast. It's not overly strong, not overly bitter. Can't say it's an excellent cup of coffee, but it is an instant, and it's a drinkable instant. So for that, it's not a bad coffee. Certainly a taste of home, a sort of taste that most instant coffee drinkers are familiar with. I would compare it to sort of a mid-range, not the cheapest out there, but also not the most expensive. So a decent all-round basic instant coffee. Have a look at the chocolate. It's a good job I only had half a mug. Nice chocolatey flavour. Dissolves well. Again, not super quality chocolate. It is a sort of middle of the road average, but that says it's not a negative. It's a recognisable, decent hot drink. The two together would have gone well, mixing the coffee and the chocolate. But likewise, on their own, they're both equally tasty. Now finally, the tropical punch. Again, it has mixed a little bit better by shaking, but there's still a lot of floaties on there. Has a sort of almond background flavour, almond taste. Highly chemicalised, highly flavoured with artificial colours. Not an unpleasant taste. It's just one that's very difficult to mix. I don't know what they make it out of, but out of all the US powders, the tropical is the one that seems not to mix. I think I'll just give the eggs just a few more minutes while I take a look at this oatmeal. So it's thickened up nicely. It's absorbed all of that water. So let's have a taste of that. It's quite thick. So it's the brown sugar, maple. It's nice and soft, nice and sweet. There's a lot of sugar in there. It's creamy. You can taste the brown sugar. It's tasty. It's soft. It's sweet. It's sticky. Sticks to your ribs. Fills you up. You can feel that oats energy. Nice, tasty, sweet oat dish there. Reconstituted very nicely. I'm going to go back to the Bill's Brew just to refresh my palate. Not a bad coffee. What I'm going to do now is look at these scrambled eggs. I do have another bowl here, so I shall bring that in just so I can add the eggs and bacon. Try some more out there. So reconstituted nicely, not overly wet. So it did need about the 8 ounces as requested. So eggs, smoked bacon, as the name suggests. The bacon's still quite crispy. The eggs are a little bit flavourless, but it's still a smoked, flavoured breakfast. Not as good as a fresh scrambled egg. It's not constituted as well as some of these. A lot of these freeze-dried meals reconstitute almost back to the original in a nice way. I would say this is okay. It's reminiscent of scrambled egg. There is a smokiness from the bacon which does help. But that said, it's not unpleasant. The two together are certainly more than enough for a very filling, tasty breakfast. About to refresh my palate again. The bacon is a little bit firmer than the egg. Needs probably a few more minutes reconstituting. And take a look at one of these Fig Newtons. These are commercial packet, as you can see. I was seeing if there's any date code there. Not that I can see. So if we're going to confirm whether it is, as I suspect, a 2009. That looks a little bit dark to me. Wasn't what I was expecting. So maybe it is a 2009 and these are well past their best. Sorry about that. They've gone rancid. I think it is a 2009 well past their best. We have things here called fig rolls. I'm assuming they're almost identical, but unfortunately they're rancid. 2009 I think, going by the Fig Newtons, which obviously weren't designed. Oh, it does say December, 18th of December 19. So it is a 2019. I'll take it back, but somehow they have not survived. Either way, the Fig Newtons have a rancid taste, unfortunately. And I am surprised it's a 2019, but it is on the pack there. So we'll now have a look at the mixed nuts, raisins and chocolate discs. Slightly salted. Just typical peanuts, raisins, almonds, slightly salted. I'm trying the chocolate discs. Very similar to what we have here called Smarties or chocolate M&Ms. They are recognisable, tasty, filling, enjoyable trail mix. Let's have a look at the tropical punch again. Must admit, it's not my best tasting US soft drink, but it has mixed better this time. Gums I've seen many times before. These are normally mint flavoured, pretty firm shell usually. Same here. Nice mint oils, refreshing, mouth cleansing, certainly do what they're intended for. Quite a soft gum, easy chew gum, but plenty of oils there, mint oils. Last but not least, have a look at the towelette. Very, very simple towelette, little paper, quite difficult to open. Very easy tear, very weak paper, but very wet, very moist, no smell, just a little moist rub. I don't think that would remove a lot of soil, a lot of mud caking, but it does leave your hands feeling slightly fresher, almost like they've had a little bit of a rub over with a damp cloth. So, overall, a very interesting breakfast. The eggs were not quite as you would expect for a fresh scrambled egg, but it is eatable. The help of the smoked bacon does help with the taste. Unfortunately, the Newtons, which actually said December 19, so it was a 2019, I thought they would have been better condition than what they were. They didn't make it. For whatever reason, they've gone rancid. But overall, a nice, tasty, enjoyable breakfast meal, which would be great out in Arctic conditions. So, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification button for future videos coming very soon. So thank you and goodbye.